Entrepreneurs drive the economy. If you're thinking about starting a business, really there's an awful lot of positive things that can happen out of it. Yes, you're taking a risk, but sometimes depending upon the age and where you're at in life, it might be an opportunity for you. It's terrifying and exciting all at the same time. Sometimes you never want to get into it and you're in it for 3 years and you regret, I can't believe I did this. And then sometimes you think, boy, I want to evolve into this. I want to change this. But sometimes you get a fabulous opportunity and you really are that person behind home plate that sits there and strikes 1,000 home runs all with one swing of the bat. Entrepreneurs drive the economy. I want you to know about the 5 factors of production. There's 5. There's land, which are the resources. There's a labor to use those resources, capital. And no, it's not about Sacramento, not Capitol, Capitol. It's about capital like cash money. You have to have it over there. And also that chutzpah, that part, that entrepreneurship, that courage to step out and do something. And then also the knowledge, gathering knowledge to take that risk factor, that risk thing you're willing to take, apply that money in producing something that people are paying attention to. So know the 5 factors of production: land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship, and knowledge. They'll have a big impact on the country and your region, and maybe you as an individual, on what we call the standard of living. The standard of living is a measurement that you have in the aspect of how much goods and services people can buy with the money they have. The United States, especially considering how physically big we are and the population we have one of the highest standards of living in the world. There's a couple small countries in Europe that are about the size of maybe one state that have more money per capita. That being said, but when you start looking at the large physical size in the United States and its population, we have one of the highest standards of living in the world. And that's why a lot of people want to come here legally or illegally in the process, because we have that high standard of living and they want part of the action. And frankly, who can blame them, especially from where they're coming from? Workers in other countries can make more money, but a lot of times their prices for products are higher. We're going to cover that in chapter 2. You may sit down and make $200,000, but if you're paying 70% the taxes and you're getting to keep a whole 30%, the government takes the other 70%, you're really making 60 grand instead of 200,000. And it doesn't sound so cool then, doesn't it? So we'll look at that. It's called socialism. And so we'll look at that next in chapter 2. But that being said, quality of life is also about the well-being of society in terms of political freedom, natural environment, education, healthcare, safety, leisure, awards, the whole quality of life. It's interesting. I've had an artificial knee installed, and you know what? If I had to sit down and I were in a socialistic country, it would have taken 3 years with a board to make a decision whether or not I am worthy to receive an artificial knee. Oh, we need to make a determination because in fact we're in charge and we're a socialist thing and we want free health care for everybody. I'm sorry. I live in the United States. I cut a deal with my doctor. Says, hey, can I have it? You got the insurance? Yes, I do. Okay, then we'll install it. Let's see. Let's get the schedule about 3 months from now, and we installed it instead of waiting 3 years and then being in pain for 3 years. All of a sudden, I had relief from it. It's called quality of life. We have a great quality of life here in the United States, and especially, by the way, here in Orange County, California. Stakeholders. No, this is not about being a vegan or whether I can eat meat. No, it's not that kind of a stake. It's the other kind of stake. People that have something to gain or lose about the policies and activities of a business. Listen, this is Irvine Valley College. Irvine Valley College, you as a student here have a stake or some way that you're going to benefit or not benefit by what happens on campus. The people next door to us, okay, literally in the apartment complexes around us or houses that surround us, they have a stake into it too. You better believe if we decided to have a wild football game or a huge soccer game right here at Irvine Valley College at 2 o'clock in the morning with lights, loudspeakers, and music going, I'll bet the neighbors would probably be squeaking on that. Well, wouldn't they? They're stakeholders and they'd have a right to squeak. The city of Irvine is happy to have us because we are elevating the overall education level of its population. They benefit a lot and they are also a stakeholder. Know what a stakeholder is. people that can benefit it either directly or indirectly, and often want to have a say in the activities of it, even if they don't really have any type of financial interest in it or whatever. Sometimes they squeak because yeah, they can squeak in the process. We call them the stakeholders. Here's a mapping of them of a whole series of them by the time you're all done. You're looking at bankers. If you borrow money from somebody, you better believe they're a stakeholder that want to watch over you. If you start a business, a lot of times in the world of retail, you're going to have somebody wanting to sit down and put a lien on your house. If you don't have a house, they may not allow you to sign a lease in the process. If you're getting money from a bank, they're going to want to put a lien on your house too, because that way they have an asset in case you forego the loan and forget to pay them a couple times. They'll just take your house away and put you out in the street in the process. So that being said, think about that. The media has something, suppliers have something. You see the wheel over here as to all these potential stakeholders that can have a say, whether or not you want them to have a say or not sometimes. It just depends where you're at and where they're at. Outsourcing. A lot of times you talk about the aspect of outsourcing. Are there anything that we do inside of our business that we can do it better and maybe even cheaper by having somebody else come and do it? If you have a business, should you hire employees to clean the business or should you hire a company to clean the business? If you are a business and you're doing your own payroll, okay, is it easier to hire a company that does your payroll? Sometimes outsourcing works in really different ways. You have a CPA firm here in Orange County, and typically somebody walks in your front door and you're going to charge them $600 to do their taxes. Yes. So they come in the front door. You sit down there, you intake it with a wonderful, beautiful atmosphere. You're paying somebody that inside your office, you're paying them a whole $17 an hour to run the numbers through a machine. And then by the time they're all done, it takes them 3 hours to do that, a whole $60 to sit down there and do all the processing. You send it to a CPA, they review it for 15 minutes, they sign their initial, and then you charge them $600. Or better yet, maybe you send that over to some of the smartest people in all of India. You send it over electronically, you pay them $5 an hour, which is not a bad wage, $5 American over there. You pay them $5 an hour. They do it, you pay a whole $15 to $20. You get some of the best minds in the whole country because their cost of living is much lower and the wages will pay much lower. You outsource that away from your employees doing it to a different country, they send it back. Your whole expenses by the time you're all done is $80. CPA looks at it, they spend another half an hour, maybe at the most, and then they sign off and they make $500 on it. Yeah, way to go. That's called outsourcing in the whole process. Look at Nike. Nike is one of the world's best shoe companies, but Nike doesn't do anything except two things. They design great shoes. They have a fabulous marketing program. They don't make the shoes. They farm it out to countries that sit down and pay minimal wages, minimal, especially compared to the United States standards. They pay a fraction of what they would pay in their own country, and they outsource everything. Outsourcing is a big deal, whether it's in the same country or in a different country. It's taking work that could be done in-house and you send it out-house. Not an outhouse, like, no. It's just outsourcing in the process. A lot of times there's nonprofits, and a lot of us do take a lot of interest. I work at a college. I work at a nonprofit organization. Now we charge an awful lot of taxes to the taxpayers of Orange County, but that said, we are a nonprofit organization. Sometimes people are drawn to that because there's a mission there that is value oriented. I'm kind of into that as well. So we call that a nonprofit because our goal is not making a profit. Our goal is actually providing a service to the community. Management is a little bit different. There's different principles apply. The accounting system is very different in the process, but pay attention to all the aspects of it. Now, pay attention to the here about entrepreneurs and the creation of wealth. The positive being an entrepreneur, you have the freedom to succeed, make my own decisions. Nobody's going to tell me what to do. And if you hit it right, you can become very wealthy. If you drive down almost any street in the city of Irvine, you're going to pass some house where some entrepreneurs there, and they may not show it, but they may be a multimillionaire doing very well in business. but they've worked for 20 years in the process to sit down and earn that wealth. The negative, oh, you have freedom to succeed, but freedom to fail too. Oh, that's not very good. And no paid vacations, no health insurance. You got to buy it all yourself. It's a lot of work. Entrepreneurs, they really drive the economy. To create wealth for the citizens, it requires more than natural resources. It requires an entrepreneur the skill and knowledge to produce those goods and services. Here you got a picture of somebody selling lemonade. They put the squeeze on something, didn't they? And hopefully they'll make a good sour profit in the process as you go through. You'll see a change in the workforce over the years. You'll see a difference in women in the workforce in the process. I want you to really focus in, though, on knowing what an entrepreneur is. Know that wealth creation is based on innovation and entrepreneurship. Outsourcing provides a potential for jobs, different companies, maybe another entrepreneur in the process, and also corporate reduction, so you can focus in on your mission and know what a stakeholder is. Take care.